So here we have Olympus's 5th OMD camera, the E-M10 Mark II. That's cool. A few years ago, Olympus brought out the E-M5, and it drastically changed the way we think of mirrorless cameras. They then brought out the others in the range, the E-M1, the E-M10 as well, all with their certain grades and qualities to them as well. The E-M10 was one of those that only had the 3-axis stabilization system and only worked at a certain level, which kind of made it look and feel more like a pen series camera. So it was nice, but it just didn't have everything that the others had. So it often felt like it wasn't as premium grade. The build quality was there, but we were missing those other little traits. The E-M10 Mark II changes that. So what's new about the camera? It's got its epic 5-axis stabilization system in there now, massive bonus, and a new and improved EVF. The new EVF is absolutely brilliant. 2.36 million dot, 1.24 magnification. It's very much similar to the E-M1 and E-M5 Mark II. The ergonomics on this camera have changed ever so subtly over its predecessor. So you've got a slightly better hand grip there for you to actually get your hand round the camera and really hold on to it. The dials equally have all got this slightly modelled effect to them and been raised a lot higher than the old one as well. When I first saw that, I didn't like it, but initially when starting to use the camera, you actually get a real good feel and real good grasp of those dial controls. So actually it's quite a bonus. In the retro side of things, this dial top looks very, very familiar from the old OM film cameras, and for powering the camera on and then also activating the flash, I'm guessing someone in Japan had a little bit of a joke putting that on there, but I rather like it. In reality, someone at Olympus probably found a box of old OM switches and decided to build a camera around it. And in addition, the flash is now raised up a lot higher as well. So if you're shooting with large lenses, the problem you've often faced before is that the light will bow and you'll get a dark area at the bottom of the photo. Here, with that raised up a bit higher, we should eliminate that problem. Another key point on this particularly is that, like all other Olympus cameras, you've got the full array of menu options in here as well. Olympus tend not to mess about when giving you all the possibilities, and that can be a bit confusing as well. If we go into the menu settings on this particular camera, you'll find that all the controls are laid out in a very old school fashioned way of having the drop down menu on the right hand side of the screen and then all your options at the bottom. For a lot of photographers, they've never really enjoyed that layout and the interface. So there are a few little options on here just to change that over to the super control panel, which I think a lot of people get on with. Go to menu, cycle down to the cogs where the custom menu is, and you'll find that section D is the display. This is the same, I believe, on every single Olympus camera. So even if you don't have this one and you want to see this interface, it's ideal for the job. Click on there, go down to control settings, and what you'll find is each of the modes has its own separate section, and we want to turn on live SCP. So in each of those modes, we'll switch that on, and what you'll find is when we go back to the original settings, when we hit OK, it comes up like this instead. And instead of having that drop down side menu, we've got everything quick to access. So things like face priority straight away, focusing, white balance, and then all you need to do is quickly scroll through via the thumb wheel there. So for quick access and easy operation, it's the best way to get around the camera. It's gonna hit me. Burst rate has been improved from the original E-M10, albeit very subtly, going from 8 shots to 8.5. Another additional feature that this one's got on it is the ability to operate the focusing whilst it's to your eye using touchscreen. So when I put it up to my eye, the eye control kicks in, but we still have the ability to maneuver those focus points using your thumb. Initially that sounds a bit daft because you surely have it in the way of your face. It actually works. The E-M10 Mark II has also got an electronic shutter in there as well, so it's silent. Ideal for all those who are shooting street photography or any areas where they want to be quiet. Historically, with electronic shutters, you tend to find that in low light environments, you get banding through the photograph, so you can't really use it in those conditions. So far here with the E-M10 Mark II, I haven't had that problem. Another nice little improvement is the enhanced focus peaking they've incorporated. Same as the E-M1. More customization and a better refresh rate really make it ideal for adapting OM lenses. One of the things that hasn't changed on this camera is its weather sealing. It still doesn't have any. Since it's raining, we're going to go indoors. So we're in London and it's raining, naturally. So here we are in a pub instead, checking out the ISO sensitivity. Starting off at 800 ISO, going up to 1600 ISO, the 16 million pixel Micro Four Thirds sensor handles quite well. The images remain clear and have very little grain to them. 3200 and we start seeing grain coming through. At 6400 ISO, the grain starts to really show, and at 12,800 and at 25,600, not very usable. Here we can see the major benefit of the new 5-axis stabilization. At 1/4 of a second you're able to get sharp shots, whereas with the old 3 axes on the E-M10 it was a much more difficult procedure. Another area where we see the 5-axis stabilization system excel is video. Here's a clip of me walking around the shop. You can see how stable it is, almost like a Steadicam. On the topic of video, it's better than ever before, and that's even including the E-M1's quality. We now see a high bit rate of 77 megabits per second, 1080p at up to 60 frames per second, and can even get up to 120 frames per second, albeit with a much lower resolution. Olympus have even thrown in a 4K time-lapse feature. So to sum it up, the E-M10 has some great new improvements. It has a fantastic new viewfinder, better in-body stabilization, and improved video features, and maintains some of the original aspects that made it such a popular camera. The easy menu system, small form factor, pop-up flash, and enough art filters to make you feel like Picasso jumping into a pool of hallucinogenic paint. So if you're looking to upgrade from a point and shoot or camera phone and want the ability to explore photography and get more creative, the E-M10 Mark II might be the one for you. Or even if you want a smaller system from your DSLR for holiday, travel, or street photography. Not only is it small, but being Micro Four Thirds, you'll fit the ethos of having smaller bodies and smaller lenses. We're now just waiting on Olympus to refresh their flagship E-M1 so we can truly see who's the king of Micro Four Thirds.
Differences on the video lenses, you'll notice these teeth. These are standard point, yeah they are sharp. They're standard 0.8 pitch gearing, so it'll go into a follow focus rig or unit.
So if you had a rig unit on the front, then a cog system can make. So this is getting rained on and it's a pre-production model.